like we are online. Hey people, welcome back to my stream and welcome to the Fate Stay Night playthrough. I know I am going to vote Kara na Shoujo and White Album 1, but for some reason I really feel like playing Fate. Starting a playthrough of Fate. I don't know why, but we're gonna go through the entire thing. Hopefully, I get to finish this before the 25th, because on the 25th, I'll be focused on Armored Core. In the meantime, from today until how much time do I have? I should have ample time. Famous last words. I can imagine I'll be rushing on the week of the 25th. Anyway, so we're gonna get started with the most prologues of prologues. By the way, we are playing with none of that. None of that. I can't stream. You know, I can't stream that. So totally none. Like. Anyway, let's get started. The tip was a lightning bolt. A spear pointed thrust out to skewer my heart. It was meaningless to try to dodge it. Like lightning, it was too fast for a human eye to follow. But the lightning that made to pierce me was parried by the moonlight come to save me. Steel fell like against steel. No, in truth, the sound that rang out before me was heavier than steel. On the whole, there was no beauty at all, and all the simplicity of the armor she wore was like the frozen night air itself. There could be no sound of beauty here. The sound that I heard was just steel. Rather, the beauty that made it ring out like a bell was something wielded by the night herself.
とう、あなたが私のマスターか。
She spoke, and her voice drew back the darkness.
召喚に従い参上した。これより我が剣はあなたと共にあり、あなたの運命は私と共にある。
Yes, the contract was complete, just as she chose me as her master. Surely I too swore that I would save her. Now the moonlight crisply breaks the darkness. The shed, as though imitating the form of the night, takes back its former silence. Time stood still. It was a scene that probably lasted less than a second. Even so, I'm sure that even if I fell into the depths of hell, I could clearly remember the figure she struck then. Her face turned just slightly toward me. If he fell into the depths of hell. How's that, Archer? Her endless, gentle, pure, green eyes. This moment seemed to stretch on into infinity. The blue dress that symbolized her swaying in the wind. What shone in was just the bare sliver of blue light. Her hair, like gold dust, was bathed in the light of the moon. This is a story from 10 years ago. I'm looking at someone I haven't seen for a long time. A tall man with deep lines in his face, who so far as I know has never once told a joke, is patting my head. No, that's not quite right. It's more accurate to say that maybe he doesn't know how much strength to use, and rather than patting my head, it's more like he grabbed my head and is shaking from side to side, shaking it from side to side. I should fix my. That's only natural, I suppose. And nothing else. This is the first time he ever patted my head. Fix my mic. Is something comfy?
それでは行くが、後のことは分かっているな。
With a heavy voice, but careful of my manners, I replied, yes. The man who was patting my head nodded once, took his hand off my head, and stood up. That was it. If I'd known that would be the last time, I would have made him laugh with one of my best jokes. One day, I'll crack the sour face, I told myself, as over and over I practiced telling funny stories by myself. I suppose you could say it's sad that in the end, I couldn't tell him any of them.
成人するまでは、教会に貸しを作っておけ。それ以後の判断は、お前に任せる。
Even as he said that, I'm sure that he was worried about me. As he talked about the family heirlooms and the jewels passed down from the great master, and how to manage the basement workshop, all the things that he hadn't had time to teach me, as I watched him try to get them out as fast as he could speak, my child's heart realized he probably never going to come home again. A war began. Not a war of country against country, rather a war of men against men. I say that, even though the number of fighters was only 7. You might say that doesn't really fit the definition of war, but if those fighters are mages, then that's a different story altogether. 7 mages from different factions started fighting for reasons I didn't understand, and killed each other by means I didn't understand any better. One of those people was the man in front of me. He too was in a position where he would kill and perhaps someday be killed. I'm sure he felt even more clearly than I did that time was close.
リン、いずれ聖杯は現れる。あれを手に入れるのは遠坂の義務であり、何より魔術師であろうとするのなら避けては通れない道だ。
Once more, he gave my head another pat and he left. That's the end. He took part in the Holy Grail War. Say hi, Sensu. As a master. He never came home. And that was the last I saw of the man who was my teacher and my father.
いってらっしゃいませ、お父様。
Politely, I saw him off. I knew that I was about to cry, but I shed no tears. I loved him. He was an excellent father and an excellent mage. To be a mage is to be an eccentric. In that world, I'm sure there was no one so good at being a man as him. He taught me as a teacher and he loved me as a father. So I decided that whatever he let me in the end, I would decide my own path for myself. Rin, one day the Holy Grail will appear. Attaining it is the duty of the Tosaka. But more than that, if you consider yourself a mage, it is a path you cannot run from. At the very end, not as my father, but as a mage, he'll let me those words. Like that, in an instant, the path I would follow was decided.
よし、それじゃあ一つ気合い入れて一人前になりますか。
It's natural for an apprentice to follow the instructions of their master. Since then, though many twists and turns, I, Kosaka Rin, had grown up. It's already been 10 years since the winter day my father went off to war. It's not that I've been eagerly anticipating this moment, but I'm consciously excited. That's also natural. The event that I haven't forgotten in 10 years is about to start. January 31st. Something is ringing.
うるさい。止まれ。
The sound doesn't stop. It rings with an incessant clamor, like it's declaring me an enemy of its house.
はいよ、もう。昨日は遅くまでやってたんだから。
I'd be fine if you let me sleep just a little longer. No, rather, you should let me sleep. If nothing else, I was up until morning deciphering my father's will, and I've totally used up all my magical energy. In other words, I'm completely exhausted, and my body and spirit are both utterly worn out.
まあ、もう。融通の利かないやつ。
Words have no meaning for the alarm clock. I say that, but I wonder, by what mechanism does the ring of the clock sound like it's saying, "You're gonna be late. You're gonna be late."
遅刻はまずい。
But there's a time and place for that too. However, much of an honor student I am, wouldn't it be fine if today I only barely made it in time? Wait, give me a second. I need to fix something. Shit. Oh, look. Okay. All right. Okay. That's fine. All right.
そうそう。あらかじめ30分ずらして目覚ましをセットしたんだから、あと30分は眠れるはず。
Wait. Isn't that a little strange?
30分ずらして？
The sleep-drunk eyes look at the alarm clock. The hands are clearly showing 7 o'clock. Since my habitual time to wake up is 6:30, that 30 minutes I've saved is already completely used up. Oh, why can't I ever think clearly when I wake up? I spend a few seconds glaring at the alarm clock. I stop the bell and reluctantly decide to get out of bed. Across the cold floor and moved into the chill living room. It's the last 7 o'clock in the morning of January. The town of Yuki is usually reasonably warm in the winter, but just for today, it's uncharacteristically cold. Even inside the house, I can see my breath, and it's not like it's colder inside my house because it's just me who lives here. Oh yeah. Even though this is like a Western house, I still think they probably rent does love insulation like every Japanese home. I don't know what's up with them. Wait, I'll be right back. Oh, speak of the devil. I was talking about heating. Jesus. Wait, I need to double check. I turned the heater on and head for the back. Why did you turn off the heater at night? Oh no. You know what? I actually understand. I sometimes sleep with the heater off. Okay, I do it too. It's just that well, you know, optimal sleep involves a really cold weather. A cold temperature. At times like these, living alone is kind of an inconvenience. If there was someone around to wake me before me, surely the heater would already be on. In the bathroom, I wash my face. I run the brush through my long hair and finish making myself presentable. A cold morning, a chilly bathroom. If there's one good point, it's the cold water will knock the sleep out of you whether you want it or not. Tie a ribbon in my collar and my preparations are complete. All that's left is to finish breakfast and go to school. Looking at the clock, it's just a little after 7, which is a little bit of a letdown.
なんだ、これなら走っていく必要もないか。
But then I have no intention of doing unsightly thing like dashing to school in the first place. Never be in a hurry and always carry yourself with grace is the motto in the Osaka family. To hold on to a motto like that, my ancestors must have been high-class people indeed. This anachronistic Western mansion is more than sufficient proof of that. And moreover, the house of Tosaka is a bloodline of sorcerers that pass magic down through the generations. Speaking of old, we're indisputably the bearers of an ancient history.
まあ自慢できることでもないんだけど。
It's not even really something you can tell anyone about either. The truth is, my name is Tosaka Rin, and I'm a magician. Majijitsu. Man. I can't pronounce it quickly. Anyway. Who exactly are you supposed to impress saying something like that? Magic is exactly what it sounds like. I don't really care if you get funny ideas about abracadabra or anything like that. It's just if you if you just think of us as people who cast spells and make mysterious things happen, that would be fine. With that said, it's not like I fly around on a broom or shoot stars out of a wand. I could do things like that if I wanted to, but there's no point to it, so I don't. Fundamentally, what we are is heathens hiding from the world. Doing anything that would make you stand out is forbidden, and even if you had time to spend it locked up in your house diligently doing research. While I'm at it, magician is a bit of a misnomer. Properly speaking, there are only 5 true magicians in the whole world. One of them's Sakura, and one of them's Zelbrich. What? Sakura? You don't know who's Zelbrich? What the hell is that? That's so pathetic, Sakura. Anyway, I remember that scene in Heaven's Feel. Able to do things no one else can duplicate. Things totally beyond the reach of modern science. The people who can make these so-called miracles possibly are what we call magicians. Arcana that are unreachable, no matter how much time or artistry you pour into them, are what we dub magic. Things that are reachable with time and artistry, no matter how mysterious, are what we call magecraft. So the arcane mysteries that I make use are not magic in the truest sense. While I might call them magic, they're nothing more than just magecraft. It's a little complicated, but that's how we do things. So I'd appreciate it if you could keep that in mind. Honestly speaking, mages aren't approved in the modern world. We who believe and manipulate and learn things that can't be measured are incompatible with modern society. Whatever else, it's pointless. If you were going to study magic, if instead you just went to a normal school and became a normal person, you'd be many times happier. Human technology is magnificent. For the last few hundreds of years, magic has constantly been chasing after civilization. Nothing is impossible for humans anymore. Miracles that were once only possible through magic have long since ceased to be miracles at all, and are now just the work of everyday tools. Well, even so, magic has its own advantages. In the same way that there are things that can only be done through science, there are things that can only be done by means of the arcane. As science is spiriting headfirst into the future, then magecraft is like a thing, charging headlong into the past. Did the great master of the Tosaka family say something like that? Into the past or into the future. In the end, the place they reach is the same. They continue running towards zero, or something like that. Let's leave aside the hard stuff like that for now. In any case, philosophy is something you should lead to the delight in your old age. Did I see a misread? I finished breakfast and take my bag in hand.
そうだ、ペンダント持っていかないと。
It's awkward to bring something like that to school, but it would be a shame to leave it behind.
何しろ100年ものの石だものね。うちにある宝石の中じゃダントツで最強だし。
No, rather a better way to put it would be that it's on a different level from anything else in the house. This jewel, which I found last night deciphering my father's will, is infused with as much magical energy as it could produce in 10 years. In the Tosaka family, they say there are heirlooms passed down long ago. Maybe this is one of those. The mages of the Tosaka family, skilled in working the change and flow of energy, channel their own magical energy into jewels whenever they have time to. To put it shortly, if I'm a gun, then those jewels would be like bullets. If you ask if there's anything else my father left to me, it would be just the magic crest of the Tosaka family on my left arm. To explain, a magic crest in simple terms is both the root of a hair and the inherited magic of the Tosaka family. Condense it to something like a tattoo.
まだ始まったわけじゃないけど、用心に越したことはないか。
I tucked the pendant, now the memento of my father, into my pocket.
切り札だものね。これに秘められた魔力ならできないことはないぐらいなんだし。
It's 7:30. If I don't get going soon, I won't make it to school on time.
シュイズン for your fallen dry.
Nice. Kinda. Ueda is speaking German. I promptly channel some magical energy and speak the two words. When a magus leaves the stronghold, they can't neglect to take precautions. Even if, up until now, there's never been any sort of intruder, not a burglar, or a lost child, or even so much as a stray cat. Actually, I feel like even the neighbors have never so much as stopped by to say hello.
別にいいけどね。野良猫でさえ入ってこないってどういうことよ。
I look up the house I got used to living in for over a decade. Fuyuki City is an odd town. The neighborhood on the other side of the main intersection has plenty of Japanese-style samurai manners, while the neighborhood on this side has a lot of Western-style mansions. Apparently long ago, lots of family moved here from overseas, but be that as it may, I've never seen any foreigners around here. There's even a foreigner cemetery in Shinto across the river, but all the graves there are of people who came here at that time.
日本の土が合わなかったのかな。
Yeah, the next time I go to the church, I'll try asking the priest. Okay. Know that he knows all about all kinds of boring things.
あれ
When I go outside, something feels off.
なんだろう、思ったより静かなんですけど。
It's quiet outside, and I can't feel any of the morning's usual bustle. At 7:30, the street should be busy with students going to school and people going to work.
まあ、こういう日もあるか。
I wonder if everyone's sleeping in today. It's unusually cold today. No doubt everyone's still at home, wrapped up in bed.
は
Still
あ、
though,
けどさすがに。
kiddo, sasigami. However you look at it, it's weird that I haven't seen even a single student yet. At 7:30, I ought to be able to see uniforms milling about here and there. But right now, the only one here at the gate is me, as though the morning practice for the clubs has only just started. In other words, the only conclusion we're naturally led to is...
あれ遠坂今朝は一段と早いのね。
It's over. It's over, Rin. You woke up too early.
やっぱりそうきたか。
I sighed lightly and turned toward the girl student who called out to me.
おはよう。今日も寒いねこりゃ。
The frankly speaking girl is Mitsuzuri Ayako, my classmate in Class 2A and a person I have some amount of history with.
おはよう、三辻さん。つかぬことを聞くけど、今何時だかわかる？
ん？何時って7時前じゃない。遠坂寝ぼけてる？
Are you okay? Ayako's waving hand seems to ask. She's one of my few friends who knows that I'm not a morning person. In short, she's probably assuming I'm still not my usual self.
うちの時計1時間早かったみたい。しかも軒並み。目覚まし時計はおろか、柱時計まできっかり早まってた。
Really? What's going on here? Dad didn't arrange for all the clocks to go crazy when I pulled the pendant out of the basement, did he?
遠坂
気にしないで。別に大したことじゃないから。それより、三辻さんは今日も朝練？
ええ、弓道部は問題児も多いし、うまいのが一人減ったからね。4月の新入生獲得のために少しぐらいは見栄えを良くしとかないと。
そう。気苦労が絶えないのね。はい。
他人事だからって言ってくれるわ。あ、ついでだから見ていく？遠坂が見学する分には男どもも喜ぶけど。
弓道部か。
There are 3 people in the archery club that I know at least a little. One of them is Ayako here in front of me. The other 2 are acquaintances I don't have much opportunity to talk with. Although one of those isn't really someone I can just explain away as an acquaintance. Ooh. I wonder who she is. In the first place, I became friends with Ayako, the captain of the archery club, only because I've already been watching the club from afar.
そうね。様子を見るだけなら付き合うわ。早く来すぎたからやることもないし。
よし、じゃあ善は急げ。さっ
One outstanding feature of our school is that it has this gorgeous archery dojo. I don't know why my brain just was about to say grotesque. I don't know why. I don't know whether the chairman of the school board has special interest in archery, but this dojo is so splendid. It's a shame to use it just for school club activities.
ほらほら、まだ開始まで時間があるし、中でお茶しようぜ、遠坂。
I don't know what she's so happy about, but Ayako grabs my hand and forcefully pulls me inside. It's a bad habit of hers to talk like a guy when she speaks her mind. Just like Ayako said, there's no one in the dojo yet. So while we prep for today's classes, we drink Japanese tea hot enough to numb your tongue. Drinking it here is quiet in this quiet winter dojo. This tea is truly delicious.
さて単刀直入に聞くけど、そっちの調子はどうなのよ遠坂。いい加減頼りになる相棒は見つかった？
Just like that. Fortunately, there's no one around to hear it, but Ayako just asked me something outrageous.
ほんといきなり本題に入るのね、あなたは。その言いぶりだとそっちはもう見つけたんだ。
ノーコメント。遠坂が手を沸かすまではこっちも秘密さ。でどうなのよ。その疲れた顔を見ると脈ありって感じだけど。
こっちもノーコメント。あなたに隠してもどうせ見抜かれるか。残念ながらこっちはまだよ。綾子の方はお互いのんびりしてる余裕はないはずだけど。
そうなんだけど、私も雲行きは怪しいわ。とりあえず取り繕うことはできるけど、ことがことでしょ。この先の命運がかかってるんだから妥協するわけにもいかないし。
勝手に決めて私に負けるのも嫌？
もちろん私にとって重要なのはあんたを任すことだもの。何が手に入るとか何を手に入れるとかは二の次よ。
She gives a fearless laugh.
似た者同士ね、私たち。
ええ、初めて会った時に言ったでしょ。あんたとはそういう関係にあるんだって。
Yeah, you said it. This relationship will go until one of us kills each other, I bet. To be told something like that at the first meeting, well, I was certainly a little taken aback. In short, for Ayako, if we hold back against each other, we'll never be real friends, is what she really meant. I feel the same way. So for the last 2 years, we continued this, I'm not quite sure if we're best friends or natural enemies kind of relationship.
ところでさ、私たちなんでこんな話してるんだっけ？
なんでって言い出したのは遠坂でしょ。あんたがいつまでも彼氏がいないのは女としてどうよなんてこぼすもんだから。なら3年になる前にどっちが先に男作るかって勝負になったんじゃない。
ああ、そうだった。売り言葉に買い言葉ってやつだった。で、遅れを取った方が一日言いなりになるんだっけ？
ええ、今時子供でも交わさない約束だけど、あんたと私に限って往生際が悪いってことはないでしょ。どんな結果になろうと負けた方はおとなしく勝者に従うことになる。それを思うと私は今から楽しみで楽しみで。
Ayako stifles with an amused laugh. Good grief. She's so serious about it. Mitsuzuri Ayako is totally incongruable. Well, I can't help but look forward to making Ayako lose as well. So maybe we're about incongruable.
そう。けど三辻さん、楽しむのは結構だけど、目的を違えないよう気をつけなさい。
分かってるって。遠坂より早く遠坂が心底羨ましがるような関係にならないと完全勝利とは言えないからね。まあ私たちにとってはそれが一番厄介な問題なんだが、どんなにいい男だろうと好きになれなきゃ意味がない。
Ayako sighs heavily. As far as I know, it's said that Mitsuzuri Ayako doesn't like men. But there's rarely much truth to rumors. For her to be so caught up in a contest like this, rather than hating men, it's probably more like she just wasn't that interested until now. No, that's besides the point.
ちょっと、私たちって何よ、私たちって。断っておきますけど、私はそっちと違って冷血感じゃありません。男の子を好きになるなんて問題でも何でもないわ。
Involving some guy jumping through a vault. Involving like never mind.
ああ、それ嘘。もしくは気づいていないだけ。遠坂が男を気にかけるなんてことは絶対ないもの。今まで数えきれないぐらい告白されたくせに一つも色良い返事してないじゃない。少しでも興味があるなら付き合おうって思うでしょ。なのに断り続けるってことはあんたは男に興味がないってことよ。
は 発想が貧困ね。その場合すでに好きな相手がいるから断ってるって話もありじゃない？
Did you watch him one afternoon trying to jump up a vault or something?
おお、すっごい美談。いいね、そういうの。ロマンだな。
Rather than making fun of me, Ayako nods seriously. And that's lovely that it's true, she says with a sigh. I give up. It seems I really can't hide anything from her.
そうね、私もそう思う。
Well, it's just like Ayako says. I know all too well just how callous a person I am.
認めるわ。私こと恋愛に関しては素人みたい。
そういうこと。似た者同士だって言ったのも遠坂でしょ。で、もうじき7時か。秘密の話はこの辺にしとこう。いつ人がやってくるかわからないし、朝になったら学生らしく振る舞わないとな。
まあ三辻さんにもそういう世間体があったなんて意外だわ。これだけでも早起きした甲斐があったみたい。
あんたほど筋金入ってないけどね。私の世間体なんて遠坂凛に比べたら灯籠の斧ってもんよ。あんたの猫っかぶりは擬態っていうより別人格のレベルよ。別人格。
I don't know why. When I'm looking at Ayako's posture and stance right now, it reminds me of Akia for some reason. I don't know why. It's probably the facial expression in the posture. I'm pretty sure Akia had like something like this. I don't know, man. Maybe it's just me. Ayako makes an exaggerated sigh. The cups of hot tea that Ayako made are both empty, and it's my turn to make the next batch.
で、遠坂はどうして部活に入らないのよ。運動神経がないなんてされ事は聞かないからね。私は去年の体力測定でことごとくあんたに負けたのまだ恨んでるんだから。
あら、肺活量では三辻さんに負けたわよ、私。あと体重も三辻さんのが上だったけど。
やったー、重さで3キロ上回ったって、体重で勝っても嬉しくないってのよ、このタヌキ。
Ayako slams her fist on the desk.
危ない、お茶がこぼれるでしょ、三辻さん。首相なんだから道場は大事になさい。
うるさい。私は首相である前に遠坂のライバルだ。部員がいなけりゃあんたに食ってかかるのは当然よ。
Ayako narrows her eyes and gives me a sidelong glance. This girl has her own peculiar idea of beauty. Beautiful women should always practice some kind of martial arts. She says things like that all the time. She herself is a paragon of that, with deep knowledge of a wide variety of martial arts. She enrolled herself in the club for the one she knew at least about, and now as though it's totally natural, she's the captain of it. Boy or girl, she's probably one of the top 3 people in school you least want to cross.
あら、部員がいなければ首相じゃないなんて問題発言じゃないそれ。
問題発言なもんですか。私はお飾りの首相だから、できることって言ったら不良部員を取り締まることだけよ。私以上にしゃが立派なやつがいるんだから、首相としての面目なんてないわ。
そうなの？藤村先生、三辻さんは飛び抜けてうまいって言ってたけど。
あの人がそう言うんなら、そりゃ少しは自信が持てるけど、まあいなくなっちまったやつのことなんて考えても仕方ないか。
そうそう、噂をすれば影。そろそろ部員がやってくる頃でしょ。私はおいとまするけど、三辻さんはきちんと首相になりなさい。
何、見ていかないの？
見てもわからないもの。遠くから眺める分にはいいけどね。不心得者が道場にいるわけにはいかないでしょ。
With that, I stand up from my seat at about the same time as club members start filtering into the dojo.
おはようございます、首相。
Oh shit! Worm slut is here. I mean Sakura.
あ ああ、おはようマト。今朝は一人？
はい、力になれず申し訳ありません。
ああ、いいっていいって。本人が弓をやらないって言うんなら無理をさせても仕方がない。
Ayako is talking with a member who just showed up.
それじゃあ失礼するわ。また後でね、三辻さん。
ああ、また後でね、遠坂。
お疲れ様です、遠坂先輩。ありがとう。さくらもしっかりね。
So that I won't get in the way, I leave the dojo behind.
やあ、遠坂。おはよう。朝から君に会えるなんてついてるな。
Get a load of this douchebag. Not my lucky day. I've gone and run into the last person I wanted to see.
おはよう、マト君。今日は早いのね。
当たり前だろ。首相なんだから。早めに来ないと一年に示しがつかないじゃないか。
The grinning student before me is Class 2C's Mato Shinji, the vice captain of the archery club and the heartthrob popular with half the girls in the school. His looks goes without saying, but his grades are good too, and he's affable and kind to girls. Apparently he's like some kind of idol or something. I don't know about that myself. I'm just going off of what I've heard from my classmates.
そう。ご機嫌なところ悪いんだけど、一文字抜けてるわ、マト君。大事な字だから忘れない方がいいと思うけど。
一文字抜けてるって？
幸福の福。字は違うけど響きは一緒でしょ、副首相さん。気をつけなさい。別に首相も副首相も変わらないけど、変に意識するとこだわってるみたいに聞こえるでしょ。
そうだね。今後は気をつける。ありがとう、遠坂。
お礼を言われるようなことはしてないけど、まあマト君がそう思ったのなら私には関係ないか。
I bid him goodbye and moved to lead to the archery dojo.
ちょっと待てよ。見学に来たんだろ？なら見ていけばいいじゃないか。遠坂なら大歓迎だよ。
遠慮するわ。練習の邪魔をしたくないもの。
そんなの構わないよ。他の連中が気に障るんなら締め出すからさ。ちょっと寄っていけって。
だから邪魔をする気はないって言ってるでしょ。それに私別に弓道に興味があるわけじゃないから、知らないやつのシャを見ても嬉しくないわ。
なんだよ遠坂。弓道に興味はなかったのか。へえ。だっていうのに放課後になると遠くから見てたのはそういうわけかな。
I don't know what that is, but he's clearly made some kind of enormous misunderstanding.
なんだ、知ってたのマト君。
ああ、よく目があったんだぜ、僕と遠坂。茶を終えてさ、斬新の時に限って遠坂は僕を見ていたろ。声を返したかったけど一応決まりでね。車上では声を上げちゃいけないんだ。
I don't know what he's so happy about, but Shinji smoothly steps in close to me. His smile is amicable, but at the same time, there's a sense of superiority to it.
勘違いしてたよ。遠坂は弓が好きなんだと思ってたけど、弓道には興味がないんだろ。
So it's like that. I get it now. Certainly it must have sounded like some sort of conversation just now.
離れてくれないかしら、マト君。私あまり人に近寄られるのは好きじゃないし。
なに遠坂。
呆れた。ここまで言ってもわからないのね。趣味じゃないけど仕方ないか。簡単にあなたにも理解できるように言ってあげる。いいマト君。私は弓道に興味がない以上にあなたに興味はないって言ってるのよ。実際あなたが車上にいたなんて今初めて知ったぐらいだし、きっとこれからも目に入らないわ。
なんだと。
Did I touch a nerve? He reaches out a violet hand. I dodge it easily and turn my back on him.
それじゃあね、マトくん。自意識過剰なのも結構だけど、ほどほどにしておいた方がいいわよ。
遠坂、お前。
It seems like he wants to say something more, but he doesn't yell and he doesn't chase after me either. Honestly, he really is all show. If he were just a little bit more mature, he wouldn't give the people around him nearly such a hard time. I enter the school through the back entrance close to the archery dojo. Even though it's past 7 in the morning, I still can't see any students in the hallways.
あれ遠坂さんだ。
Yay.
おはようございます、藤村先生。
Rest in peace in Sarah. I mean, never mind.
おはよう遠坂さん。ちゃんと挨拶してくれて先生は嬉しいよ。
This mysterious woman gestures like she's so happy she might fall down and cry. I know it's hard to believe, but this surprisingly friendly and cheerful person is a teacher at our school.
先生、ちゃんと挨拶をする以外にする挨拶があるのでしょうか？
うん、あるわよ。1年生はちゃんと挨拶してくれるんだけどね、上級生になってくると私の名字で挨拶しないんだから。遠坂さんはああいう輩の真似しちゃダメだからね。
はあ、よくわかりませんけど、先生に失礼なことはしませんが。
よしよし。ああ、みんながみんな遠坂さんみたいだったらいいのにな。
With a parting wave, Fujimura sensei takes off. Fortunately, she's not the teacher responsible for my class. Fujimura sensei is English. Despite wearing such a cheerful face, she's a kendo black belt, and apparently during her school days, she was respected as the Tiger of Fuyuki. I don't know why I have a lot of posture problems right now. There's something of a mystery there, though. Normally, if you call someone a tiger, isn't it because you fear them rather than you respect them? I don't know if she's just in a good mood, but Fujimura sensei cheerfully heads for the archery club. For some reason, she's in charge of the archery club rather than the kendo club. The time is just before 7:30. I can see students doing their club activities out on the grounds, but inside there's no sign of anyone. I say that, but...
遠坂。
Something rude races out of his mouth as soon as he sees me.
あら、生徒会長。こんな朝早くから校舎の見回り？それとも各部室の手入れかしら？どっちでもいいけど相変わらず豆ね、そういうとこ。
そういうお前こそ何を企んでいる。部活動もしていないお前がこんな早くに何の用か。
ただの気まぐれよ。竜斗くんちみたいに早起きじゃないもの、私。
His clean-cut face clouds over into a scowl. I don't know why, but he's apparently holding some kind of grudge against me. I really don't know what for. I wonder if it's because at the planning meeting for the school trip, I interrupted with temples are tedious, so we should leave them out.
一つ聞いておくが、最近夜遅くまで校舎にいたことはあるか、遠坂。
ないわね。私が帰宅部だって知ってるでしょ、竜斗くんは。
当然だ。生徒会長を任された以上、全校生徒の情報は把握している。
そう。なら私に聞くまでもないでしょ。なんだってそんなことを聞くか知らないけど、生徒会の仕事を部外者に押し付けちゃまずいんじゃない？情報収集は一人でやりなさいよ。私みたいな部外者に頼らないで。
たわけ、お前のどこが部外者だ。うちの会計の首根っこ掴んで悪さをしたのを知らぬと思ったが、このめぎつれ。
あら、人聞きが悪いわね。あれは三辻さんに頼まれて部費の割合を明らかにしただけでしょ。みんなの予算がどこに使われているか調べるなんて、 生徒として当然の行為だと思うけど。
なんと、うちの会計を1週間休ませた精神的ダメージが当然の行為なのか。とんでもない倫理観をお持ちのようだな、相変わらず。
あなたもね、部下の手綱ぐらいちゃんと握ってなさい。文化系ばかりひいきするのはフェアじゃないわ。
分かっている。だからこそ俺の手で不正を正したかったのだが。
一世、修理終わったぞ。
Who is this guy? Who is this guy? I don't know this guy. Holy shit. Why is there a guy with orange hair? Holy shit. With that, someone I wasn't expecting appeared all of a sudden.
と、悪い。頼んだのはこっちなのに、エミヤに任せっきりにしてしまった。許せ。
そんなこと気にするな。で、次はどこだよ。あんまり時間ないぞ。
ああ、次は視聴覚室だ。前から調子が悪かったそうなんだが、この度ついに天寿を全うされた。
天寿全うしてたら直せないだろ。買い直したのが早いぞ。
そうなんだが、一応見てくれると助かる。俺から見れば臨終だが、お前から見れば仮病かもしれん。
そうか。なら試そう。
Spurring on the male student, the student council president leaves. All of a sudden, my thoughts grind to a halt. Holding a wrench or a screwdriver or something in his hand, the boy turns around as though he remembered something.
朝早いんだな、遠坂。
Who is this guy? And like that, he leaves brusquely. I wonder, did he think that was some kind of greeting just now? The student that the president had called Emiya takes off briskly. Come to think of it, that must be class 2C's Emiya Shiro.
それはいいんだけど
Emiya
さ。
Shiro. Well, how should I put this? I can't help thinking that I'm not sure if a man who looks that good holding a wrench is convenient or dangerous. Emiya Shiro. It's 7:30 in the morning, and there's no one in classroom 2A. I sit down at my desk, thumb through some pages of math problems. There are still 30 minutes until morning homeroom, so it seems I'm in for some boring step prep until my classmates arrive. Fourth period ends, and the classroom welcomes a busy lunch break. Since our school has a cafeteria, only about half the students stay in the classroom to eat. By the way, most of the students who stay behind are girls. The flavor of their cafeteria is a bit crude and not suitable for girls. So as a result...
遠坂さん、よかったらお昼ご飯一緒に食べませんか？
Girls end up companionably eating the lunch together like this.
ありがとう、三枝さん。けどごめんなさい。私今日は学食なんです。今朝は寝過ごしてしまってお弁当を作る余裕がなかったものですから。あ、いや、そうなんですか。ごめんなさい。そうとも知らず呼び止めてしまって。
Saigosa-san hangs her head apologetically. Even in a class full of quiet and high-class students as 2A, she stands out as being quiet, and she's the kind of person who cares about me for some reason.
余計なことだなんてそんなことはありません。今日はたまたまだから気にしないで。また明日これに懲りず声をかけてください。
I reply with a sincere and heartfelt smile.
あ、はい。でも遠坂さんでも寝過ごすことがあるんですね。
I don't let my smile put her at ease, but she returns a cheerful smile of her own. That's a cute smile. So I guess that Yukika isn't especially beautiful, but when she smiles, she warms the hearts of everyone around her.
そうなんです。
she's
なんとか
adorable.
ごまかしてますけど、本当は寝ぼすけなんですよ、私。部活だって朝起きられないから入ってないんです。
Saigusa-san politely seems to be surprised at this again. Her reaction is reassuring, but I can't afford to keep this conversation going just because it's fun. If I keep talking to her like this, her real self is going to come out.
それじゃあ食堂に行ってきます。三枝さんもごゆっくり。はい、遠坂さんも。
With that polite exchange, Saikusa-san heads back to her group of girls. The girls eating lunch with her are Makidera and Himuro-san. That's right. Isn't Saikusa-san the manager of track and field club? Makidera and Himuro-san are track and field club's rising stars. Oh, they're trying to get her. Makidera is my partner in crime for going window shopping on weekends. And Himuro-san, I don't know very well.
お、振られたね、ゆきっち。だから言ったでしょ。遠坂はベッドを持ってこないって。釣りたかったらあいつの分も飯用意しないとね。
マキ、それは私たちも食堂に移動すればいいだけの話では。
ダメダメ、食堂は狭いんだから。弁当組が座れるスペースなんてねっての。それに遠坂と同席してみなさい。男どもの視線がうざいとなんの。前の休みだってさ、2人で遊びに行ったのにあいつだけ得しちゃってさ。やだよね、美人を鼻にかけた優等生は。
The girl surrounds Saikusa-san's desk as Makidera says whatever she wants to. In spite of her nasty mouth, she's a Japanese beauty who looks great in traditional clothes.
牧野氏、君の陰口は遠坂城に聞こえているようだが。
Wait, let me turn off cam. I wanna sit in a very comfortable manner. I wonder if this even works. Alright, okay. Seems like it probably still works. Alright. In contrast to the boisterous Makidera, Himuro-san carries a sense of being cool and solid.
やべ、遠坂に聞かれた。ゲゲ、めっちゃ睨んでるじゃん、あいつ。
別に遠坂さん、マキちゃんを睨んでなんかないと思うけど。
睨んでんだよ、あれ。あいつは笑ってる時が一番怖いんだから。なんだよ、いいじゃんか、口ぐらい。多めに見ろよ。私と遠坂の仲だろ。たい焼きおごってやっただろ。
Makidera Kaide puffs out her chest and waves her chopsticks around. To think her hobby is collecting wind chimes, the world really is too complicated. In any case, just standing here watching them is like this is bad for Saikusa-san. Watching Makidera endlessly complain about me is clearly making her flustered.
気にしないでいいのよ、三枝さん。それと牧寺さん、おごらされたのは私で、品物はたい焼きではなくクレープでした。
マジ怖え、あの笑顔。
Makidera quickly hides her face behind the lid of her bento box. I bid farewell to the trio, mismatch any way you look at them, and leave the classroom behind. I shut the classroom door. And then...
なんだよ、大差ないじゃんか、たい焼きもクレープも。どっちも甘いの、皮で包んでるんだからさ。
Out of Makidera's mouth, I hear rash words no girl must ever speak.
たい焼きとクレープが同じですって？
Is she really even a girl? If it's sweet, it is all there's. If it's sweet, is it all just all the same for her? I can say that is not, in some sense, enviable. If she's the owner of taste buds that can't tell the difference between a 500 yen crap and an 80 yen taiyaki. But Makidera Kaide, you little. If that were the case, I could have just brought you taiyaki from the beginning and saved myself 420 yen. 420 yen. Ooh.
何本気で悔しがってるんだ、私。
It seems like I'm still tired from last night. The cafeteria is a pain too, so I'll just buy bread and drink from a vending machine and take lunch on the roof. Like a protagonist. I procure lunch from a vending machine and move to the deserted roof. Leaving summer aside, in the winter, the rooftop is a convenient place that no other students would go near. It's too cold to enjoy lunch here, but it's hard to trade anything for not having to worry about other people nearby.
さて、とりあえずご飯と。
I bring the tomato sandwich and the hot lemon drink I bought from the vending machine up to my mouth. Its modest fare, but being able to eat it on the roof without care makes it taste much better. If I finish eating the sandwich and wet my lips with the now lukewarm hot lemon drink, I'm a little tired. Being an honor student while also trying to avoid getting too close to anyone, it's difficult to keep a sense of balance. To be the school's top student in both academics and athletics, you could call it vanity, but it's my conviction. If I'm going to be a student anyway, I want to be the best. And what's more, I won't disgrace the Tosaka name. So that's why Tosaka Rin is playing the part of the perfect, flawless honor student. At the same time, I have a dangerous calling as a mage. It's not good for me to associate too much with normal people. If a mage's identity is discovered by a regular person, the only way for the mage to protect themselves is to erase the witness. No thanks. So inevitably, my relationships are simple and shallow. Even my friends like Makidera I only see on the weekend, and I turn invitations from nice girls from Saikusa side. So at the same time, as being the school's #1 honor student, I try to live my life without making any waves. But sometimes when I'm tired like this, I can't help but think that's the kind of boring. It's kind of
もう
boring.
時間か。
If I finish drinking the hot lemon drink and stand up, what the hell am I doing? I finished drinking the hot lemon drink and stand up. Let's leave the sentimentality here and return to the usual Tosaka Rin as I head down the stairs.
ではホームルームを終了する。日直は日誌と戸締まりの確認を。部活動のない生徒は速やかに帰宅するように。
Leaving behind his set lines, the homeroom teacher for Class 2A makes his exit. As far as I know, all year he hasn't once changed those lines even a word.
遠坂、今日はもうお帰り？
ええ、朝方麻藤君と一件あったし、面倒になる前に帰るわ。
やっぱりそうか。麻藤のやつ、今朝は特に荒れてたからさ。遠坂に手ひどく扱われたんだろうなって思ってた。
そう、迷惑をかけてしまったかしら、三辻さん。
別に麻藤が下級生をいびるのはいつものことだし、あれはあれでいい精神鍛錬になるよ。
Oh, that's a tough love.
そう、よかった。じゃあこの埋め合わせはまた今度。
はいはい、これに懲りずまた寄っていってちょうだい。
I head home without making any side trips. It's not like I don't have any business at the archery club or the student council, but these past few days I just haven't had time. Once I leave the school, it's time for Tosaka Rin, the student, is over. The remaining half of the day is for the other me. I wonder if she has time to study. How does she do it? I had to change the Tosaka Rin, mage of the Tosaka family. Tosaka. What greets me when I return home is the blinking light of an answering machine.
留守電なんて珍しいな。相手はやっぱりあんたか、キレ。
I can imagine what it'll say, but if I don't at least listen to it, I'm sure that I'll regret it later. I press the play button and hear a man's familiar voice.
私だ。分かっていると思うが、期限は明日までだぞ、リン。
Oh man, Shoji.
あまり悠長に構えられては困る。残る席はあと2つだ。早々にマスターを揃えねばならん。
The priest has no mercy, jumping straight to the point like that.
マスターの権利を放棄するというのなら、今日中に連絡しろ。よ
Liar. Knowing you, I'm sure you could repair a replacement mage in no time.
お前にはすでに0時の兆しが現れているのだ。さっさとサーバントを召喚し、0時を開け。もっとも、聖杯戦争に参加しないというのならば話は別だ。命が惜しいのなら、早々に教会に駆け込むがいい。
The message ends here. There. Even for a quick message, that was pretty clipped. If you're going to fight, then make your preparations today. If not, then stop being a nuisance and get out of the way, huh?
言われなくても分かってるわよ。
Well, I guess I had to do this. Today's the limit on extensions, too. Fortunately, I was able to decipher Dad's will last night. My preparations to fight are long since made. All that's left is, that's right, literally obtaining the qualification to participate in this fight.
聖杯戦争。たった一つきりの聖杯を奪い合う殺し合い。何百年も前から伝わってきた聖杯の儀式。
Mages who participate in the Holy Grail War are known as masters. That's not a mark of rank or anything, it simply denotes their role as a master of something. There's only one requirement for participating in a Holy Grail War: summoning and making a contract with a familiar called a servant. No matter how excellent a mage you are, if you can't make a servant obey you can't be recognized as a master. Servants are clearly differentiated from normal familiars. The summoning and the means of employing them are different as well. Mages who participate in the Grail War usually prepare a catalyst for the summoning, but...
ほんと、父さんもセイバーにゆかりのものを残してくれればよかったのに。
Saber. I don't have anything that could be called a connection. I can summon a servant. If I felt like it, I could call one forth and make a contract right now. The sacred ground of this town is the jurisdiction of the Tosaka. As the daughter and heir of the Tosaka family has defended this ground for generations, I won't fall behind some foreign mage. I won't. But all the same, you can't set out to the sea without a compass. And there's a limit even to going in without a plan.
サーバントはシンボルによって引き寄せられる。強力なサーバントを呼び出したいのなら、そのサーバントにゆかりのあるものが必要不可欠なのだ。
In other words, something like the sword that the servant wielded, or the armor they wore, or a crest, or a bone, or something incredibly expensive thing like that.
父さんの遺言に期待してたんだけどな。これはこれでものすごい切り札なんだけど。
As an artifact, the pendant I found in the basement last night is the first-rate genuine article. That's amazing by itself. It's amazing, but it's not going to help me summon a servant.
いいわよ。そんなものに頼らなくたってなんとかなるわ。そもそも私以外にセーバーを扱えるマスターなんているはずないし。
Saber. I'm not interested in hearing Curie say something snide because I kept putting it off. And anyway, it's not like me to leave things to the last minute. Now comes the real contest. Tonight, when I'm in my best condition, I'll take on the servant summoning and obtain Saber by force. My brain froze for a second there. The middle of the night. The hands of the clock are showing just before 2 o'clock. This is the period when the wavelength is at its best. I hit the peak at exactly 2 a.m. This is the first and only chance I'll ever get, so I can't afford to make even the slightest mistake. Departure within a
消
ratio.
去の中に大挙。大挙の陣を4つ刻んで召喚の陣で囲む。
I engraved a circle on the basement floor. Truthfully, summoning a servant doesn't need any kind of grand necromancy. Servants are called forth by the Holy Grail. Masters merely bind themselves to them and provide the magical energy necessary for them to manifest. So the summoning is then coming of their own will.
ソに銀と鉄、礎に石と契約の対抗。ソには我が大使シュバインヨング。降り立つ風には壁を。四方の門は閉じ、王冠より出。王国に至る三サロは循環せよ。
Even so, I'm meticulous and careful. The magic circle that normally I would have drawn in blood, this time I draw with powdered tools. I'm using half the gems I've saved up for this, so my wallet won't forgive failure either.
満たせ、満たせ、満たせ、満たせ、満たせ。繰り返し都度にこたび。ただ、満たされる時を破却する。
Just before 2 a.m., I finished drawing the summoning circle passed down through the Tosaka family, and with all my spirit I stand and face the circle.
アンフォン。
I turn the formless switch inside me on. There's a sensation of something changing inside my body, when normal nerves reversing to become circuits for transmitting magical energy. From here, Tosaka Rin isn't a person. She becomes nothing more than a component for the realization of the arcane. My fingertips start to melt. Though I'm being filled from my fingertips, the mana that I'm taking in is so rich that it's meeting over whatever sensation remains of my body. So to be filled up is at the same time also to be utterly destroyed. The power coursing through my body is pure magical energy carried in the air. I'm taking it into the circuit that is my body. I change it into a different magical energy. My mage's body is nothing more than a circuit. A circuit binding material and eternal together. The various arcane mysteries we can accomplish as a result are what we call the magecraft. My body burns. A hallucination like horns are sprouting from my forehead. A hallucination like wings are growing from my back. A hallucination like scales are forming on my hands. A sensation like water has risen up to my ankles. Sweat runs down my body. I feel stabbing pain from head to foot as swords pierce through me. That's the stigma of my human body projecting its form into a magic circuit. No matter how surprising a mage you might be, humans are humans. This pain will continue to haunt us as long as we form magic with human bodies. Even so, I don't relax the cycle. At the end of this pain, at the bottom of the oblivion, lies the state of connection. A squirming pain in my left arm. The magic crest trying to support me as a caster begins an aria of its own, and the needlessly begins invading my nerves. The mana is collected in my body, and that blood is like molten lead. Then the activated magic crest is like a nerve made of thorns. It crawls and scrapes its way around the inside of my body like a fanged centipede. I forget myself in the pain, and at the same time I receive the response that has arrived. My excessively oversensitive ears catch the sound of the clock in the living room. 10 seconds until 2 a.m. The power filling my body is now impeccably complete. Let's begin. I transform the collected mana into an arcaning force. All that's left is just to pour in magical energy until this body is empty and turn this engine called the summoning circle.
告げる。汝の身は我が元に。我が命運は汝の権利。聖杯のよるべに従い、この断りに従うならば答えよ。
My vision goes dark. Before me is the fifth element that it's said it can be gazed upon with the naked eye. Thus hearing being snuffed out, my vision shuts down by itself.
誓いをここに。 我は常世すべての善となるもの。我は常世すべての悪を敷くもの。汝三代の言霊をまとう筆手よ。抑止の輪より来たれ。天秤の守り手よ。
Perfection. The response was so flawless. It was like catching a whale with a fishing pole.
完璧。間違いなく最強のカードを引き当てた。
Ah, I can't wait for my vision to come back. In just a few seconds, my eyes will recover, and right before my eyes, the form of the servant I summoned will be not there.
はい？
There's just nothing there. There's not even a single sign that anything has changed. The ether is dancing like crazy, but there's not even a fragment of anything that materialized. What's more, it sounds like something exploded in the living room. I run. With my mind still totally empty, I start running. I charge up the basement stairs and hurry to the living room.
扉壊れてる。
The door to the living room is crooked. Turning the handle does nothing. It won't open whether I push or pull on it, so
もう邪魔だかな。
I kick the door in with a crash and head inside. And in the instant I walk through the door, I understand everything. Yo. The living room is a wreck. I know that if something fell out through the ceiling, but the room is filled with debris, and there's a man sitting cockily with his feet up on the wreckage. There's no mistaking, he's the culprit. But there's something more important than that. The grandfather clock that escaped the destruction is clearly showing the time, and with that I remember. Yeah, that's right. If I remember correctly, just for today, the clocks in my house were all an hour fast, weren't they? In other words, right now, it's 1 a.m. There's actually still an hour left until I'm at peak condition.
またやっちゃった。
I can do most things just as well as anyone, but I do have just one hereditary curse. That is, whenever it matters most than anything else, like right now, most of all, I make an incredible, unbelievable screw up.
やっちゃったことは仕方ない。反省。
The depth of my stupidity is infuriating. Still, very much irritated, I fix my gaze on the man cockily reclining in the wreckage.
それで、あんた何？
開口一番それか。これはまたとんでもないマスターに引き当てられたものだ。
The red-coated guy exaggeratedly shakes his head as if saying, "Good grief." What's more, he has the nerve to mutter something like, "I guess I drew the short straw." I'll say it right now. This guy's personality is definitely twisted. Be that as it may, is this really a servant? Because they're familiar. I thought they would be formless, but this guy is the very picture of a human. No, that's not quite right. Even just sitting there, I can tell he's infused with an incredible amount of magical energy. Don't be fooled by his looks. The thing is unmistakably beyond human, a ghost who have reached the level of spirit even while keeping a human form. I can't just stand here overwhelmed forever. The thing is mine. In that case, I'll have to change how I think about this.
確認するけど、あなたは私のサーバントで間違いない？
それはこちらが聞きたいな。君こそ私のマスターなのか？ここまで乱暴な召喚は初めてでね。正直状況がつかめない。
私だって初めてよ。そういう質問は却下するわ。
そうか。だが私が召喚された時に君は目の前にいなかった。これはどういうことなのか説明してくれ。
本気？ひな鳥じゃあるまいし、目を開けた時にしか主を決められないなんて冗談はやめてよね。
The unidentified servant's face twists in a scowl. By his tricky reaction, I don't know if what I said made him angry, or if he saw that what I said was completely right and was impressed.
まあいいわ。私が聞いているのはね、あなたが他の誰でもないこの私のサーバントかってことだけよ。それをはっきりさせない以上、他の質問に答える義務はないわ。
召喚に失敗しておいてそれか。この場合他にいろいろと言うべきことがあると思うのだが。
そんなのないわよ。主従関係は一番初めにはっきりさせておくべきものだもの。
The servant raises his eyebrows. Maybe it's because the half-cocked summoning. But this guy is not even trying to hide his dissatisfaction with me.
主従関係ははっきりさせておくか。やることは知ってんだらけだが、口だけは達者らしい。なあ、確かにその意見には賛成だ。どちらが強者で、どちらが弱者なのか、明確にしておかなければ、お互いやりづらかろう。
Still lying back in the wreckage, the servant meaningfully gives me an appraising look.
どちらが弱者かですって？
ああ、私もサーバントだ。呼ばれたからには主従関係を認めるさ。だがそれはあくまで契約上の話だろう。どちらがより優れたものか、共に戦うにふさわしい相手かを測るのは別になる。さて、その件でいくと、君は私のマスターにふさわしい魔術師なのかな？
The servant smirks. Destroying my house and that kingly attitude are enough to annoy me. But asking if I'm fit to be his master without even an ounce of shame? Oh my god, I can't imagine if she accidentally summoned Gilgamesh instead. Look at that.
あなたの意見なんて聞いてないわ。私が聞いているのは、あなたが私のサーバントかどうかってことだけよ。
I stare directly at him. Like I'm going to lose to this jerk, blatantly looking down on me.
おお、なるほどなるほど。そんな当たり前のことは答えるまでもないと。実に勇ましい。いや、気概だけなら立派なマスターだが。
だから順番を間違えるなっていうの。一番初めに確認するのは召喚者の務めよ。さあ答えなさい。あなたは私のサーバントなのね。
I step closer, ready to grab at him depending on his answer.
強情なお嬢さんだ。これでは話が進まんな。仕方あるまい。仮に私が君のサーバントだとしよう。で、その場合、君が私のマスターなのか？いやまあ、あくまで仮の話だが。
当たり前じゃない。あなたが私に呼ばれたサーバントなら、あなたのマスターは私以外に誰がいるっていうのよ。
Somehow I cool down my head before it boils over and glare at the scoundrel.
おう、そうか。まあ仮の話なんだが、とりあえずそうだとしよう。それで、君が私のマスターである証はどこにある？
The servant smirks while the scribble spills out of my mouth. No doubt he thinks he's making me fluster by asking for proof of my being a master.
ここよ。あなたのマスターである証ってこれでしょ？
I show him the command spell standing out on my right arm. Don't think I don't know anything. I heard all about being a master from Dad, so I know about command spells.
納得いった？これでもまだ文句を言うの？
I thrust the proof towards him, as if to say, how's that? The eyes of the servant lying in the wreckage take on a confused look.
まあ言ったな。本気で言っているのか、お嬢さん。
He says as his face clouds over with the discontent.
本気かってなんでよ？
その考えがだ。霊樹があればマスターなのか。霊樹などサーバントを利する道具に過ぎないだろう。まったくそんな形だけのものでマスターブルとはな。私が見たかったのは君が忠誠を振るうにふさわしい人物かどうかだったのだが。
That's true. But if someone asks you for proof that you're a master, normally you think about think of is the command spell, isn't it?
何よ。それじゃあ私はマスター失格？
そう願いたいがそうはいくまい。霊樹がある以上私の召喚者は君のようだ。信じがたいが君は本当に私のマスターらしいな。
He shrugs his arms ostentatiously. This is bad. The boiling point is too low. I don't think I can cool down in time.
全くもって不満だが認めよう。